a submission match.
And this will be huge. We talk about the future of IWC. This may be 1 and 1A on many people's top prospect lists, although those numbers may have flipped a bit since a month ago. We'll talk about that during the course of this matchup as well.
And Joe, somebody's going to tap out tonight.
Introducing first, making his way to the ring from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 233 pounds. He is the submission specialist, Spencer Slade.
Spencer Slade with the 2020 Pittsburgh Pro Wrestling Classic Invitational Trophy. He won that scramble back in the month of December. And Spencer has been on a meteoric rise since practically day one. His accomplishments are very well known. An All-American football standout in college. Certainly an amateur and submission specialist. Outstanding college athlete. A football state champion. Spencer Slade has been athletically gifted his entire life. However, a month ago, he was one up.
Cole Karter got the best of Spencer Slade last month. And you mentioned all those accolades Spencer, has achieved throughout his young life here. And everything you mentioned, how impressive that is, what he holds in his hand, that Pittsburgh Pro Wrestling Classic trophy, he holds that in a higher regard than anything he's achieved thus far. Like you said, Joe, last month, this man got the best of the physical specimen, the submission specialist, whatever you want to call him. Cole Karter's on the rise.
And his opponent from Charleston, West Virginia, weighing in at 228 pounds, he is the Thoroughbred, Cole Karter.
A 20-year-old standout from the small town of Sissonville, about 10 minutes outside of Charleston, West Virginia. Cole came of humble beginnings. He's a country boy through and through. He's got pet horses. He's got pet chickens. He knows the simple life, but he's been thrust into a very, very big spotlight here tonight on Facebook Watch, and certainly he made the most of it when he pinned Spencer Slade in that kind of unofficial top prospect matchup a month ago, also featuring Alexander Apollo. And Spencer Slade was absolutely irate that he got one up, and he's had some very unkind and demeaning things to say about Cole Karter. Called him boring, called him dumb. The bottom line is, doesn't matter what you are outside the ring as long as you can get it done in the ring. Cole Karter's proven he's right up there on athleticism. He's right up there as far as heart. And Spencer Slade's got to realize this is not an easy path to the top.
Yeah, Spencer, I think, was a little surprised last month when Cole Karter upset. You want to call it an upset? I don't know if that's the right thing to say. Cole Karter's, one of the top rising stars in this company. I don't know if it's right to call it an upset, but what
I think Spencer would call it one. Other people
absolutely
disagree.
And one thing I wanted to bring up, Joe, is I don't know if the camera crew at 2-to-1 Media caught it, but the entire time Cole Karter was walking to the ring, Spencer Slade had his eyes glued on the Thoroughbred, not taking his eyes off of him. Spencer is focused, and he wants that win back tonight.
Nick, I still can't believe what we just saw with Team Big League, if I can even use that term anymore. Elijah Dean, Zach Nystrom, Dime Piece A1, an assault and a defrockment of Big League John McChesney after a year on the shelf. I've never seen anybody humiliate John McChesney in that way. John survived low-key. He survived Super Indy tournaments, cage matches, and bloodbaths. I've never seen that. And on a night where Dean will challenge Andrew Pallas for the IWC title, and Nystrom will challenge former IWC champion Ricky Reyes, I just can't imagine what's to come on the network portion of IWC 20, because they're just getting started, are Dean and Nystrom tonight.
Well, you have to think it was all part of the man-dime makeover that he said, Elijah Dean, pronouns pal, Elijah Dean said that the man-dime makeover was going to take over this entire company, and I guess this is step 2 in the process. John McChesney, he's a legend, Joe, and he took these guys from relative obscurity. Before Team Big League, the Man Dime was accompanying Katie Arquette to the ring John McChesney took him and Zach Nystrom and brought them to the next level here in IWC, and that was just a spit in the face. They cut his ponytail. What are they trying to prove?
And I want to point out, you talk about spitting in the face, Spencer Slade a moment ago with a condescending slap to the back of the head of Cole Karter. Cole Karter with an amateur-style takedown, a mat return as they call it, and was able to return the favor as far as kind of that playful, condescending smack to the head. Spencer's trying to get in Cole Karter's head, but credit to the young man, Cole is not letting that happen in the early moments.
And I have to apologize. I have so much respect for both of these two young athletes. It's just my mind's on what happened to John McChesney. I've known him for many years, and
my mind's on a lot of things here tonight. Yeah,
that's just unfortunate.
It's such
so
a loaded show. It's a loaded event, Lando. My mind's on Bill Collier. I think he can get past Josh Alexander. That's going to be huge.
Yeah.
My mind is on Bulk Nasty and Dennis Gregory.
What a proving ground that's going to be, Joe. Dennis Gregory, one of Bulk Nasty's mentors here in the company.
And you know what? Dennis Gregory, the only 5-time champion in IWC history for the IWC Heavyweight Championship. That's coming up live in just a bit. Facebook Watch, we're going to bring you another incredible matchup after this one. And then following that, we go network exclusive. Sign up for the network now at IWCWrestling.com. Pay a one-time fee or subscribe for $9.99 for 20 years
20
of
years,
archive
Joe.
footage. Can you believe it? Cole Karter now a side headlock on Spencer Slade. I've said that Cole Karter reminds me so much of the pride and joy of Denton County, Texas, the Von Erich family, because he's got the star potential of David, he's got the athleticism of Kevin, the body of Kerry.
A little bit of everything.
And he's got that youthful exuberance of Mike. And by the time it's all said and done, he may have the legacy of Fritz as far as just dominating this business. Who knows? That's a little bit early to tell.
There remains to be seen, Joe. I'd love to see it. Cole's such a very respectful young man. He loves this business.
But here's the bottom line, Lendl. Both men are wise beyond their years. And there's parallels to draw here to the likes of, say, DJZ and Gory, and say, Wardlow and Britt Baker when they made their debuts. I think much in that same vein, we've seen these men sleeper attempt here by Spencer. Cole goes for a cover. This is a submission matchup. There are no pinfalls here. Instinctively, Cole will go for a cover. It's what he knows, but now a submission.
And even though, Joe, that was the wrong move to apply, there's no pins in this match, that is a sign of a veteran instinct from Cole Karter. Hitting a big move like that, going for the pin cover, that's something a veteran would do. That's in-ring instinct. And even though this match is a submission match, he might have forgotten that in the moment, but you're knowing that Cole Karter is learning. Each match he's learned. Oh, my goodness.
Well, you're not going to get a submission on the floor, that's for sure.
No way to teach that, Joe.
You could do some significant damage as Spencer and Cole's tempers flare. And you know what it's like, whether you were young and you wanted your parents' attention over your brothers and sisters, or you wanted the teacher's attention over your classmates. Everybody wants to rise above and be that one person everybody's got their eye on, the star student, the star prospect. Everybody's favorite. And Cole and Spencer are neck and neck. The bottom line here, Lendl, the submission match stipulation heavily puts the ball in the court of Spencer Slade as being an odds-on favorite.
Well, you know what, Joe? I go to an interview with Ken Shamrock from a number of years ago. And the interviewer, asked Ken Shamrock, what do you prefer? As far as the UFC and his MMA fights, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a knockout or a submission win? And Ken Shamrock said, I prefer a submission win because when I knock somebody out, they have no choice but to go out. I'm the winner. When I make somebody tap out, it's their choice to tap out. I didn't let them have any other opportunity. They had to quit. And I think that's what's going to go on here tonight. The winner of this match is going to feel some unprecedented pride over the other because these two have been neck and neck. They're trying to one-up each other these past few months here in IWC.
Nice rotation on that power slam and Karter with those heavy forearm shots. I don't know that Cole has specialized any kind of submissions. We've seen Spencer use a couple of them, most notoriously that ankle lock submission that Ken Shamrock once famously used. So we'll see if that comes into a play here. Neither man have had a chance to really wear down a body part at any point, but certainly that's got to be something to keep in mind as the matchup progresses. Cole shows that incredible agility, but Spencer up with a foot.
Spencer always looking for that ankle lock, the Olympic slam. Huge maneuver. The fans letting Spencer know how they feel about him.
Spencer claims Cole snuck up to beat him a month ago and claims that Cole has been he's had a good run, but he's always been one step behind Spencer Slade. And maybe that's a small step, but it's enough for Spencer to assert that dominance. And certainly, I think Spencer has a lot of merit to a lot of his claims, but his ego continues to get absolutely out of control as this presses on, and you got to believe it will continue to do so as much as Spencer can back up his own words.
Well, Joe, Spencer hears the fans booing him, and he doesn't understand it. He thinks he looks better, he wrestles better. He doesn't understand why these fans don't like him, and it's because of his attitude.
Well, speaking of hearing, you heard Spencer yell out, "Fear the gear!"
Yeah.
Before the elevation on that elbow drop. Certainly that amateur-style headgear, not only an homage to his style, but an homage to his hearing disability. And now, what could have been an inspirational story, I feel like is Spencer just throwing it in everybody's face here and just bragging about it.
Yeah, he's definitely turned the IWC fans against him. Here's a guy that, like you said, Joe, with a hearing impairment, former All-American. He's somebody that these fans are just built to get behind, and he just didn't let him do it, Joe.
Yeah, you can get behind him until he opens his mouth for 5 seconds, and then you realize just the kind of person he is. Loves to talk about himself, doesn't he?
Well, Joe, I have to say I have a lot of history, a pre-wrestling career in the restaurant business. And when I saw somebody sitting by themselves dining, I always felt bad. But after the first couple months in the industry, I realized there's a reason they're sitting alone. And I think Spencer fits that description by any means. You feel bad for this guy because the people feel bad, the people boo him, and you see what he looks like, and you see how hard he goes. But like you said, Joe, as soon as he opens his mouth, you get it.
Now let's see, Spencer now applying pressure on the elbow, and this puts also some torque on the shoulder joint. The arm is kind of crimped around the neck of Cole Karter, and Spencer's leaning down with his upper body weight just to try to stretch and disfigure the upper body of Cole Karter, who breaks free and starts firing away with right hands.
Cole Karter gaining some momentum, Joe, but like you said, he doesn't have a history of using submission maneuvers, as Spencer just spears him right into the corner, and a huge belly-to-belly throw by the 2020 Pittsburgh Pro Wrestling Classic Trophy winner, Spencer Slade. My goodness.
Karter lands halfway across the ring, and Spencer Slade, is somebody who can switch directions and switch the tempo so quickly, and you raise a very good point about Cole Karter. I think it's going to be the underlying story of this matchup. But bottom line, if I'm Cole Karter, you take it one step at a time. You can't get ahead of yourself, because before Karter can think about a submission, he's got to get Spencer in a position for a submission. And Spencer is over top of Cole right now. These fans starting to rally. And Cole looking to fight free, but Spencer, once again, just shutting him down. We've seen Cole in some incredible matchups against the likes of Bill Collier and Chris LaRusso, pedal vertical leap on that drop kick. But what about Spencer Slade and his recent challenge of Brian Pillman Jr., the then Super Indy champion? So these men have stepped up in a big way in the past number of months.
Especially post-lockdown, Joe. When IWC returned summer of 2020, these were two of the guys that came out from Jumpstart and said, we're going to make a name for ourselves. And what I want to bring up, Joe, is something that I've noticed. I mentioned earlier in the matchup, Spencer loves to go for that ankle lock, but it seems as early in the match as we are, Spencer's been trying to wear down the upper body of Cole Karter, which is a little bit unusual, but maybe Spencer...
Oh, what a clothesline.
Beautiful clothesline, like you said, Joe.
Explosive contact by Karter.
Maybe Spencer has a plan B.
It very well could be. Spencer has come in with a game plan, you got to believe. The Blue Thunder bomb, trap and a cross arm breaker.
And that's the fire from Cole Karter. We mentioned he's not very versed in submissions, but he was able to grab that arm.
Spencer's reaching for the counter. If Spencer can clasp his hands together to prevent the arm from being extended, and now Spencer over top of Cole. Well, now Cole counters and drives Spencer back down. Both men are jostling for leverage here, and Spencer's got those fingers clasped.
And if I'm IWC owner Justin Plummer and I'm watching this match in the back,
he's got it now.
I have to be a little nervous for two of the brightest stars in this company,
now,
because
Karter needs to cross his legs and apply pressure there. He had good ring positioning, but notice Spencer was able to get on top of Cole and mount him and use the right hands to break.
Yeah, that upper body strength.
And again, that's a rookie mistake from somebody that does not specialize in submission wrestling.
And what I was saying, Joe, is if I'm Justin Plummer, I'm worried, because I don't think either of these guys want to submit. I think it's going to take a broken bone or the referee stopping this match to get a victor. I can't see Cole Karter, and after everything he said, especially Spencer Slade, submitting. After everything
look at the explosion by Cole here.
Now, the ref can't stop it for, a TKO or, whatever you want to call it. This is a submission match. Can't stop it for knocking out your opponent via strikes.
And, a German suplex. Cole landed high and tight.
Right on the neck.
Is motionless now. Spencer with the opportunity to follow through in a matchup that you got to believe will set a big tone for both these men as far as who that star student, that star standout is in IWC's younger rookies.
Another thing that stands out to me, Joe, a few minutes ago we saw AEW superstars, IWC alumni Wardlow, Britt Baker. They mentioned that Tony Khan, the owner of AEW, is watching this event tonight looking for, what a maneuver.
A side DDT, but does Karter have enough to follow through? That's a great point, Lendl, though both these men, you got to think, are on the radar. Britt Baker and Wardlow will choose one member of the IWC roster to travel to Jacksonville at Daly's Place to have 500,000 people watch them on AEW Dark on an upcoming Tuesday night, and there's so many good candidates, and we're going to find out later tonight on the network as part of IWC 20 who they're going to choose.
Joe, could you imagine if Spencer Slade gets a match on AEW Dark? We will never hear the end of that.
Sleeper hold. Well, it could go dark for Cole Karter here if Spencer can clasp this in full.
Well, if Spencer Slade puts Cole Karter to sleep, there's no other choice for the referee to stop the match, whether Cole taps out or not.
Cole slips underneath. And Spencer side Russian leg sweep. And into a submission again. Yeah.
What is this, Joe? He has the arms back, wrenching on the neck.
Lendl, I think that was plan B. We talked about it. Arms are trapped.
Again, the upper body.
You can look at the torque on the shoulders and on the neck, and the neck's being stretched forward. This puts pressure on that entire area of the body Spencer was working on. Cole can roll forward and trap the shoulders as a counter, but a pinfall won't break it automatically like it normally would. But Cole gets to the ropes.
And so much riding on the victory in this match, Joe, but the IWC locker room, the hunger for competition is unmatched in independent wrestling. You would think maybe the winner of this match would be on top to get a future opportunity at the Super Indie Championship. But what about that fatal four-way match we just saw? 4 top Super Indie contenders going at it. The Sky Prince Anthony Young getting the victory. Who's to say the winner of this match goes above Anthony Young in contention for that championship?
The wrist tape is coming off on Spencer. He is exposing the bones of the wrist.
Yeah, he's exposing the bones, but you know what else he's doing, Joe? He's wasting time.
And Cole comes up with a knee.
What did I say, Joe? Wasting time. Beautiful from Cole Karter.
Falcon Arrow. Can Cole follow through? We hope you're tweeting along if you're watching live. Hashtag IWC20 at IWC Wrestling. Of course, the International Wrestling Cartel page on Facebook as well. Let us know what you're thinking and share with us your favorite IWC memories over the past 20 years. We'd love to hear them. Hashtag IWC20, and we'll be on top of that throughout the night as well, as Cole Karter is to his knees. And Spencer, a bit of a concerned look on his face. That's not like Spencer Slade at all, but these men can not even stand, but they're still going to fight. Slugfest ensues.
And one of the things Spencer prides himself on is the conditioning. He says he will not be out-conditioned by anybody, but it looks like at this stage of the match, both men are winded, Joe.
And Spencer the go behind.
Jockeying for position.
But went for a cutter maybe, and Cole, backslide attempt, pins don't count, keep it in mind. Cole got the cutter.
Cole got the cutter, but he needs to make Spencer tap out. He can't roll over and put an arm over him and get the quick pin like he did last month.
And Cole knows that.
I think Cole's noticing that right now.
The frustration is setting in, but Cole knows his one chance could be now. Roll through with the leg. Oh, it scoops up Spencer Slade. Beautiful use of leverage.
Very impressive.
And down with a TKO.
Yeah, TKO, another modification of that cutter, but you need to make him tap out, Cole, and it looks like he's going for something. What is this?
Cole is cinching in half of a crossface. The arm is not trapped.
A variation of the crossface, and Spencer, he just poked the referee in the eye.
Come on.
Spencer's tapping out.
And Spencer tapped out so Cole would release the hold.
Cole Karter thinks he won the match No, stay on him, buddy. You didn't win yet. The referee was down. He didn't see anything.
Cole
stay
didn't notice.
on him.
Cole didn't notice the eye poke. It happened so quick, I almost missed it. And Cole doesn't realize, I think now he does,
Stay back on him, Cole.
that he got jobbed here. He got conned by Spencer, who goes downstairs.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh.
This guy who talks about not being out conditioned, talks about his wrestling and his submission ability, he does something like that. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous.
A rear naked choke body scissors. Cole is trapped center of the ring.
I think Cole Karter's out.
Yeah, Cole Karter's not moving here.
He's out.
Well, if he's out, the referee's going to have to call this.
He's going to have to stop this match.
That's a de facto submission.
That's not right. That is not right.
It's not right, but it's the way of Spencer Slade.
And ring announcer Dave Kitch trying to get the official word from the referee. It's going to be a win for Spencer Slade.
Here is your winner of the submission match, Spencer Slade.
Well, in Spencer's mind, I think he gets that black mark off of his record as far as the loss to Cole Karter a month ago. But Spencer Slade can talk about being the best athlete. He can talk about having no competition and this easy path to the top, and we're all just backyarders and underneath him. But bottom line is, Spencer Slade, in his match, it was very much in question if he would be the better man in this matchup, and Spencer had to scoop very low.
Man, you're going to say he's a better man with picking up the victory like that? That win doesn't prove anything as far as I'm concerned.
No, it doesn't. I'm stating that was very much in doubt, and that's why Spencer took that shortcut. He had everything in his favor, but Spencer Slade still went way down dirty, way below the collegiate level, way below anything else he claimed puts him on a high level and a high tier. But Spencer Slade will get the victory here this evening. Fear the gear, ladies and gentlemen. Spencer Slade, like it or not, his stock only goes up from here. And ladies and gentlemen, we will look to the future of IWC. We got to start our next 20 years, and we're going to do it real soon.